Hello, I'm Tristan, this is Mathieu. We're from BBC Research and Development. For the past year, we've been prototyping new story formats for news online, which could be text, could be video, could be audio. And this is a bit of preamble, and I'll get to why we're here. This was mainly targeted at younger audiences, so under 26s. It's an audience that the BBC struggles to reach, so that's why we're looking at them. And we've been building lots and lots of experience prototypes, so things which we can test with people, and we've talked to about 50 young people over the year, I think, and shown them prototypes and iterated on them, and talked to them about their news habits. And what they told us was a lot of what they do is skimming and digging through news. So they will be skimming everything to try and keep up with what's going on. They don't necessarily have a lot of time, there's a lot of news going on, and to kind of use that to find interesting stuff. And then when they find something that's interesting or important to them, then they will dig a bit deeper into that and they'll want to spend more time on that. And text and words is a great format for that. Like, people are good at skimming text or reading it in depth. Like, they can decide how to do it. And most of the prototypes that we made were kind of text-based, and kind of that was one of the behaviours we were designing for. But this is the textAV event. So we're not going to talk about any of those, because what we wanted, one of the things that we did look at was, could we make video and audio more skimmable for news? And so two of the prototypes that we made, we're going to show you, both designed for mobile, and Mathieu is going to talk through them.
Sure. All right. Hi. So this is one of the very first prototypes we did. The first sort of phase of the research was on the multimedia aspects of news. So how can we combine media to make it more attractive, more understandable, to make news more understandable? And the idea of the skimming came in very, very early in the research. And so we thought, how can we make video skimmable? And of course, captions came in pretty quickly. So in this prototype, this very basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, there's no framework, it's all handmade. You've got captions at the bottom. It's using web VTT that's parsed and then put right into the DOM into a nice UL list. And then the captions just change as they normally would. You can see sort of the past captions and the captions of the future, your look ahead. And if you scroll the captions, it scrolls the video. So you can sort of skim back and forth in the video the same way you would with text. So if you've missed something, that's really good. If something's boring, that's really good. If something is not quite your pace, that's really good. And you can choose to have audio or not audio. So you can just have it as an image, kind of back, or you can also scroll that move that all the way up, and you just have the transcript, and you can just read that, or all the way down and just enjoy it as video if you want the audio. That proved to be very popular. I think the users really liked it. There was a little bit of discovery with the idea that you could scroll the captions, because it's not something that's very common. But once that was understood, then there was no problem at all. And there's of course, a little more UX work to do around making this really, really good. But the idea that you could scroll through the video, make it your own pace, particularly with all these videos without sound that you have on Facebook with just captions that always never seem to be the right pace, and you're always waiting for the next slide, like, all right, another sentence, and it's really painful. So that solved that problem, and it's quite nice. And we've got a second prototype, so further that maybe 6 to 7 months afterwards, we looked at that again, and we thought maybe we should have a look at that just for audio. So what if you just don't have the image? And so we tried with a podcast called From Our Own Correspondent from the BBC. And in this podcast, the same thing, you've got the whole transcript, so the whole page is the transcript. When you start playing,
ABC.
You've got the audio playing, the current caption is highlighted, or rather not back.
In Goa, you think, or tourists will...
Everything. The first one is this one. The transcript moves as the audio moves automatically, and you can also scroll that to move forward. So in a podcast, that's really good if someone's saying something and you've missed it, you're just in focus, you can go back or you can go forward. Again, if it's boring, you have your speaker ID top right, so you know who's talking. There's a system of color on the left that kind of tells you who's talking and what, so you can see when there's an interruption from the interviewer or the host. At the bottom, you've got a little timeline that shows you who's speaking and when, so you can just scroll past the whole section if the subject is an industry, the speaker, you like speaker, or for whatever reason, you're just browsing. So that was an interesting way for our users to just that was an interesting way for the users to navigate podcasts, and the people who were listening to podcasts regularly seemed to enjoy that. They liked the idea that they could read and listen at the same time, that if they just stopped focusing for a second, they could just whip their phone and just look at it again, instead of having to listen to a whole section just for a missed word. They could just visually check it. And the idea of the timeline at the bottom to know who's speaking and when was also quite appreciated by the users. A little technical note on how this was done. So the video stuff, the fast forward video was just a subtitle file that was passed and put in the DOM and just synced. So the timings were sort of already done. I think we may have, for that prototype, we may have done it manually. For the audio stuff though, it's a half an hour program and didn't want to do that manually. So we asked the show producers for the transcript that the people were going to read. The transcript, interestingly, doesn't quite align with what's really being said. Sometimes the person who's reading changes their mind, uses different words, changes things altogether, or the transcript simply doesn't record, the original transcript doesn't record the changes that were made between the editors. But using that and Caldi, we could force align the whole thing at word level, which was quite interesting, but we needed, and particularly for this prototype, there's a small requirement, is that each line needs to be a sentence of some kind, or at least an understandable chunk on its own. So we kind of pre-split the original transcript at a sentence level, and then realigned everything with a little magic script at the bottom, a really handy URL there with those numbers, which is quite a naive approach, honestly. It's using Levenstein distance to try and match the original sentence to what Caldi understood. And then that gives us the start and stop time for each sentence, and then boom, done. So there's plenty of improvement that can be done about this, and I'm sure we can talk about that later on. Thank you.
Any questions?
Not really a question, just a comment.
That's fine.
I think it's really, really cool. And I think also from the fact-checking perspective, we spend a lot of time wondering what gets said on radio and whether we could do anything about it, but we don't have the resources to listen to everything every single day. So being able to like search a transcript in that way would be life-changing. So good job.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Maybe I missed it, but I was just wondering how you match up the speaker to what is being said.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't say it. You didn't miss it. So that was done through Caldi. Caldi has, or certainly the version of Caldi we're using, has a speaker ID. And so it's a little bit of manual work to just get the speaker IDs and match it to the pictures. But once you know, if there's only 6 speakers, it doesn't take that long. So kind of looking at what Caldi outputs and say, okay, well, these things like S201 is this person, S216 is this person. Just match up the IDs for the pictures. On that note, actually, for the speakers, for podcast side, the users quite like the idea of having a bio as well, being able to sort of tap it. It looked a bit like a button, but to tap it so they can know who's speaking. Sometimes it's kind of assumed that you know who that person is because they are on the podcast and it's famous or something like that, but most of the time you don't.
Hi, very interesting. We're doing something similar with Newsbridge, where we use the original transcripts from Deutsche Welle in different languages and then correct the time codes because, as you say, they're not correct. 2 questions in this regard. So you showed the transcription. What engines are you using there?
So all the transcription so we tried multiple different things. The first thing we tried full Kali. That's something that I could have an instance. That works quite well, and that was about 85% correct. But Kali struggles a little bit with punctuation, it seems, and because we needed sentence level stuff, what we did is that we went back to the original transcript that the editors had. So it was a big old Word document, and we kind of used that as a base because it had the breaks that we were after. And then mixing that with the Kali time alignment and the false alignment and the original transcript, it was a bit of a mishmash. But it's that was just a series of little scripts that just run through.
Okay, so that was my question.
Okay.
These were the journalistic scripts, and then it wasn't corrected because it was too correct to be an automated transcript.
Yes.
So this is exactly what we're doing as well
Yes.
at Deutsche Welle. We have 2 ways. On the one hand, we use automated transcripts for those items for which we do not have a script. But if we do have one, it's better to use it, but then the time codes are not correct.
Yeah.
The sentence bound splitting, you do that automatically?
So,
I assume, or was this done by hand?
so it was done a bit half and half. So you can do it fairly naively, split on a full stop space, that sort of thing. That misses a few cases, but then it wasn't that long that I couldn't see, oh, that's a sentence that's like 3 characters long, that needs to go above, that sort of thing. It was half automatic. Again, all of this was done very, very quickly inside the day or 2, so it's how long is it going to take to write the script versus how long is it going to take to do it manually kind of deal.
Only in one language, only in English?
Only in English.
Okay, we're trying to do this for different languages, so I suggest we try and sit together and then
Yes, that sounds good.
get something going together.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.